I was working for CBS News, which was quite a glamorous address to work for. I felt very blessed. However, I was basically unhappy. So I asked myself, what is the next best thing that I could do? And I thought to myself, children's books. I love children's books. I love everything about them, text, art, etc. So I waited till I could get an entry into the children's book publishing there in New York City. I get this letter out of the blue in New York City from Lorenzo Tan. He wrote to me and said, we have a publishing business, Bookmark has been around, and we need a children's book publishing arm. If you come home to Manila and you produce books that Bookmark will market and sell, I can guarantee that we will take care of your sales and marketing for you. Living in New York City was tough, even if you wanted a garden, there was no plot of soil to even plant a thing. I think the universe was pointing our compass back to the Philippines. So I said yes to Lori's offer, and my husband at the time was also willing to move to the Philippines. He's American. And together we moved back with our baby to Manila, and we started Tahanan Books. When you're starting a business, you don't know everything. We're knocking on the door, we're trying to figure out, we need help, how do we do this? We knew the editorial aspects of publishing. We didn't know the business aspect of it. And we met a number of people. I would say the majority of them kept their cards close to their chest. There was one man, Louis Reyes, took us under his wing and said, you do this, this is how you cost out a book. This is how you do the plant cost, and this is how you do the PPB, which is paper printing and binding. From people like Louis Reyes, we learned that. And I also found that level of generosity in the Bookmark staff. I would ask Eddie questions. Tessie Abalahin at the time was in marketing. We would talk to her, and I knew she was going to push our books in the bookstores. So we learned how to build a company, through the help of people, especially with the support of Bookmark. And because Lori gave us such a good working arrangement, he said, I want to free you to be creative and just focus on making the books. If you're starting out in publishing and you had to worry about how you're going to sell, how you're going to distribute, not just creating the books, right? That burden is really tough to pull off in the beginning. So he freed us from that, and we were able to focus 100% on creating the best books that we could. There was one time I remember he said, there's something going on the internet, these funny things about you're Filipino if. You're Filipino if you have a tabo in your bathroom, if you travel with a balikbayan box, if you say open the light instead of turn on the light. All that. So he said, I think that would make a good book. And it did. We did it. This became a runaway bestseller. And I wish I could take credit for this book, but I can't, because Lori was the guy who gave the idea to us. And this continued to be our bestseller for many years. I remember we launched this. This was back in the day where we had book launches. And one of the comments of people at the book launch was, these books are, what did they say? Parang ginawa sa States. Parang they look like foreign books. In a weird way, it was a compliment to us, because back then, this was in the mid-90s, many of our Filipino young readers were exposed to ugly books. Pangit ang papel, pangit ang design, pangit ang... If you're a young person and you want to learn to read, and the very first book you're going to pick up is an ugly-looking textbook, do you think you're going to be a lifetime reader? I doubt it. Right? So all of a sudden, we're producing beautiful books for families and for young readers. And I think it caused quite a ripple in those days. And I'm happy to say that it was, it's sort of like encouraged a burgeoning in the industry for quality children's books. when Lori came and managed, he was signing up all these great books, great book ideas. So I think part of the staying power of Bookmark is the ideas that have driven it to answer to the needs of the market, whatever that market is. And now under Mary, she is continuing that legacy by continuing to be assertive about finding out good intellectual properties to publish. And at the heart of Bookmark also is that they're made up of good people, good-hearted people. No malice in it. And to our credit, Mary and I have continued to be friends. You know, there's some people who go into business and after a while the relationship improves. But to both our credit, hers and mine, we continue to be friends. I am deeply grateful to Bookmark. If we didn't have that leg up in the beginning, I don't think Tahanan would be around. Lori did us a tremendous favor, and I think the children's book publishing industry as a whole, because I'd like to think that Tahanan introduced quality at a time when there wasn't much of that yet in the industry. It's unquantifiable what Bookmark has done for us at Tahanan. And to me personally, I often tell people, if you want to make a lot of money, don't go into publishing. But if you want to make a mark, there's nothing like books that will outlive the people who have made them. They call it a mastodon footprint. People leave behind their mark on the world. Maybe I am just a little scat claw, right? But Tahanan is my mark on the world. And that would never have happened without the help, support, and encouragement of Bookmark.